Hi everyone, I'm Jessica Brown and I work in the Public Affairs Office. I'm a spouse, a mother of two, and one on the way, and I'm married to an active duty KC-135 pilot here at Fairchild Air Force Base. We in Public Affairs have heard some of the concerns from our parents regarding care during these hard times. And today I'm joined by Mrs. Amber Stecker. She's the acting school liaison here at Fairchild Air Force Base, and she's also the task force lead for the School and Child Care Task Force. So thank you for taking the time to join me today. I'm going to ask you some questions, some of those tough questions that our parents have sent in, and then even some that we've heard from the community just through the grapevine. But I do want to say we won't be talking about childcare prioritization because I have plans to interview some subject matter experts about that later, at a later time.
Absolutely.
All right, so thanks again for joining us.
Of course, happy to be here.
So I know Colonel Bentley stood up a task force to address some of these issues, and that sounds fine and dandy, but what does that really mean for parents who don't have care for their children right now?
So you bring up a good point. Slapping a cool name on something, calling it the task force, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be 100% effective, right? But the first step to solving a problem is first and foremost to identify it. So what we did was, what the task force was a group of volunteers from the town hall, some of our vocal parents who had a lot of concerns, constructive solutions, ideas. We had subject matter experts on the base, so that was some of our folks from the CDC, our flight chief for Child and Youth Services, myself, Public Affairs was there, and then we also had a lot of our key spouses, and they provided a lot of valuable insight as well. So we brought a group of individuals together, and it was a total of about 15 people, I want to say, and we brainstormed a list of problems, and so that helped us kind of get a good idea of some of the challenges that we're working with.
So we brainstormed some problems. What were some of those problems that were identified?
I'll provide you with a slide deck. It's actually the PowerPoint presentation we provided to Colonel Bentley with the problems that we identified as the task force, and then also 3 of our recommendations to the wing commander for his action. But basically, we identified the problems, and then we also identified a list of corrective actions. So some of these were relatively straightforward. For example, our guard counterparts told us, hey, when you make your signups on Monday, that disproportionately and negatively impacts guard. So it's a very easy fix to change, the sign-up day from a Monday to a different day. Another item that was drawn to our attention was from one of our key spouse mentors who mentioned that the Fairchild Fund website could actually be a better source of information for our spouses if we aggregated all of the data and put it into one place so that our spouses don't have to search through multiple sites and multiple pages. They can find all of the information, all the links in one place. So we've already set up a meeting with marketing. We know how to set up a complaint ticket. We're assembling those materials now, and then we're going to get that up hopefully in the next few weeks here so that that website can be the best that it can be. So there were a lot of different problems, a lot of different corrective actions, and then we also referred some of those, some of the items and concerns like contingency plans or what are we going to do moving forward. We referred that to wing leadership, so that's on their radar and they can make a decision about that.
Okay. Another item that I heard from spouses in terms of feedback from our town hall was that the town hall wasn't really geared towards what the intention was for, which was school-age care and even CDC, FCC care. There was some concern that it was more of a job fair recruiting tool to get folks into staffing positions. Can you address that?
Yeah, Jess, that's a great question. We understand that everyone's time is very valuable, and we also know that we have limited amounts of opportunities where we can talk to the entire base population at one time. So yes, the focus was supposed to be on providing information from Medical Lake and talking about the different school districts and the updates. But one of the critical problems that we're facing right now with being able to accommodate the base population and getting everyone the care that they need is the fact that we are shorthanded on staff. So that's why there was an emphasis on getting the word out and getting the message out that if someone is available to work at the CDC, that would help alleviate the problems with staffing.
You said the task force identified several issues. What about some big items like, can an airman drop off their child on base at a friend's house and have him or her watch their kid for 20 hours a week while they go to work?
So there's actually an AFI restriction. AFI 34-144 restricts the amount of hours to 10 hours that a child is receiving care outside of their home on base. We asked if there was a challenge or a waiver process, or if there was a way to provide feedback to CSAF to help some parents work around this rule. However, the purpose behind the AFI is to protect children. So if you begin to waive that 10-hour requirement, it does open the base up to liability, and it's not great for safety. So we're looking into some other options.
What are some of those other options?
Well, so right now, and that's the main complaint that we're hearing from spouses, there's not a lot of options right now. On the base, we have the CDC, the Youth Center, the Teen Center. We're also at full capacity with our FCC providers in the local area. But in the meantime, what parents can actually do is they can call their school districts. More and more schools are offering day camps, they're offering internet cafes. There are different options that the school districts are trying to help with in order to meet the need, because this is a problem that affects the community, not just Fairchild. And there's working parents throughout Spokane that are facing the same issues that we are at the base. So for the next steps, I would recommend that parents give their school districts a call and see if their school has any programs in place or is in the process of creating one of these programs that might be able to help with the burden of childcare.
Did the task force address mission essential letters or mission sustaining status with regards to working parents?
The task force did address that. That was one of the concerns that we presented to Colonel Bentley. He took our feedback and he provided guidance to squadron commanders and group leadership, suggesting that commanders use this opportunity to approach the situation with flexibility and understanding. And he also recommended that leadership reevaluate which individuals are on mission essential or mission sustaining status and evaluate those letters, and in addition to people's ability to telework.
Some feedback that we received after our town hall was that there seemed to be a lack of information, communication, and even transparency. Did the task force address that and how to improve it and a way ahead?
Yes, the task force did address that. We recognize that that was an issue. That's part of the reason why you guys are doing this webinar, is to share more information. That's also the other reason that we, or Colonel Bentley, decided to stand up a task force, was to solicit, opinions, concerns, feedback from the community, and then show everyone that we are listening to those concerns and we're taking them seriously, and that the feedback we're getting is not falling on deaf ears.
So I know you say the task force is hearing our concerns and our feedback. What's next for you?
So as I mentioned earlier with the slides, we have a list of all the problems that were identified. We have corrective actions and a POC, a point of contact, assigned to each of those issues, and then the next action date. So with that task force update that we provided to Colonel Bentley, it's a living document. We are constantly working on these things. New steps are being taken every day, and we're regularly briefing wing leadership so that they know where we are with the task force. In terms of parents specifically, I know parents want to know what they can be doing or what steps they can take right now. A great option is to attend your child's school board meetings. Those are available on Zoom. The links are located on each school district website. If any parents are having trouble finding that information, they can absolutely reach out to me and I'll point them in the right direction.
So for anyone else who has those hard-hitting questions or constructive feedback that they want to give, where can they give that feedback?
So we are very appreciative of the volunteers that we had after the last town hall, the key spouses, everyone that gave their time to come look for solutions and to help with the way forward. If we have more parents with ideas, they can post them below this video. The task force is going to be reviewing all of those comments and then seeing if there's anything that we can run with. And they can always reach out to me personally. I'm the acting school liaison, but I'm leading up the task force. So they can reach out to me via email or give me a call. The number is 8518, and provide their constructive criticism or their ideas for improvement that way as well.
What else would you like to add?
I think just that we're really appreciative of everyone who's provided their feedback and their input. We understand that this is a difficult time for everybody involved. But if anyone has any questions or comments, they can always reach out to me. And just please remember that this is a community issue. We need that support. We need those ideas. This is something that we can't solve ourselves.